And we're back, and I'm not making a joke this time. We're back. We're going to keep going. We're here with
Hello?
Leo's route.
Yay!
All right. So, we were on Leo's route in the middle of Saturday, and we're about to have the game really hit the part that I feel is the best part of Echo. So, I hope you guys are excited for that.
I am. Especially since it's on my route. Of course, the best part of Echo happens on my route.
Oh, sure. Keep telling yourself that.
I'm important.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Yeah, Leo.
My dog just whined about how important I am.
Leo, I want you to keep telling yourself that. And remember that when we're on TJ and Flynn's routes, about how you're so very important.
No, you're not.
What?
All right, anyway. The next hour is pretty uneventful, though I do get enough footage to the point where I'm satisfied. There is a point where I notice Duke down the road. He stands there for a while, watching us as I'm getting different angles of the school. It's annoying, but even though he's a complete fuck-up, he likes to pretend he's in control of things in Echo. Probably just promoted himself to sheriff of the town in his mind or something. I ignore him, though, and the next time I look up, he's gone. I turn my attention back to the project, finally able to calculate how much work I actually have left. Now most of my work is going to have to happen the night before the due date. I swallow, stomach churning at the thought. On the bright side, all the stress is pushing the memory of Clint being hanged and whipped out of my mind. Later on, I finally get a text from Leo, just before my phone dies.
Lord, that scared me.
Heading back.
Also, before I forget, I'm going to change the config because I had the text speed a little bit too fast. We're going to get back there. There we go.
Heading back.
I'm hungry. We should meet at the diner.
Sure.
I invite Kudzu to come along, but he tells me that he can't stand diner food, and that he was going to go fishing anyway. It's too bad, because I've been really enjoying the raccoon's company, and fishing sounds relaxing. I tried to exchange numbers with the raccoon, but my screen dies the moment I turn it on. Kudzu takes my number, though, and promises to text me. I'm feeling better walking to the diner, but then I remember what happened with Leo, what I might have to do. Should I bring it up now? I don't even know where he'll end up going. Could I ever trust him again?
Nope.
Leo's not in the diner when I get there. I pick a booth towards the back, resting my head against the patchy cushions and closing my eyes. The week's gone by so fast. It feels like only yesterday that we actually got here. Thinking back, I remember worrying that everything was going to be awkward, that our past would catch up in the worst way possible. And it kind of did. We didn't fix or talk about anything. That gives me a jolt of realization and sadness. This whole time I'd been preoccupied with Leo, and Leo with me. Wasn't Leo the one that was all concerned about us not keeping the pack together? This send-off feels empty and pointless. It's really the last time I might get to hang out with some of them, mainly Jenna and TJ.
He goes to the same school.
Not TJ. TJ's at a different school completely.
Yeah, TJ is at a different
Makes
school. And we'll think about
Yeah, that's fair.
at bleep school.
At a big university.
Yeah, I will bleep the school name.
Yeah, it's like even then, like you.
Yeah, I have friends from high school who I went to that big university with who I literally saw like once on the street, and I was like, oh, hey. That's fair.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, heck,
I
even for
sidetracked
the
us.
school that Sam and I went to, one time, like, I saw Rosie, and, like, there was a moment where I, like, looked at him, like, wait a minute, is that Rosie, or am I being racist right now?
Have that fear of, is that the person I know, or am I just hallucinating? It's worst feeling ever.
I was very relieved to find out I wasn't being racist, it really was Rosie.
There you go.
Yay!
And TJ had the most shit to air out. Did I fuck up by basically ignoring him this whole time?
Yep.
I feel a lump in my throat as I think about the hike that I never went on with him. Sure, I figured things out with Leo, At least temporarily. Very temporarily, actually. Already things are in jeopardy again. But now it feels like things I should have talked about with the others have been buried further. Even though I haven't seen the others for a few days, I can feel the resentment, knowing that Leo and I got what we wanted. Or at least, I thought I got what I wanted. Especially after... Okay. Huh. You want to say that a little louder?
I mean, we all know what Leo wanted.
Oh, okay then. Especially after leaving them to deal with the fallout of Flynn's meltdown.
I love how I was quiet and Sam was like, screw it.
Same.
What?
I love how Matt comes in at the weirdest moments.
And now,
It's my job.
because
That's
of
true.
that, it'll be harder to reach the root of the problem. Harder to talk about it. And because of that, we probably never will. I glance at my dead phone, reminded of the complete lack of text from anyone other than Leo. I suppose this is life. Some things are buried and never talked about again. And in a way, I guess that's for the best. Sydney's death will die with us. It just sucks that we all carry it, but can't rely on each other for support. I take a deep breath, wondering how long it will take for me to process this whole trip. Or maybe my entire life up to this moment. It's at this point that I notice Janice hasn't come up to take my order. The diner itself is completely quiet. No old rockabilly coming over the staticky speakers. I look around, wondering if maybe the place is closed. I remember a few businesses didn't lock their doors. Mostly because of negligent employees, because burglary is somewhat common here. I look through the plastic window in the swinging door to the kitchen, past the counter, and notice the fluorescent lights are definitely on. In fact, it looks like I can see some movement from shadows on the wall. I think about getting up and knocking on the door to let them know that I'm here, but that's when the front doors push open. Leo comes in, a big grin on this face.
Chula!
My stomach twists as he sweeps up to my side, and I can't help but jerk it away when he kisses at my cheek. He pulls back, frowning.
Chase?
I sigh, not able to meet his eyes. Leo, I need to talk to you about something. Immediately, I can see the worry in his eyes. He steps back, watching me.
What?
Sit down.
Why?
Leo asks, but sits down anyway. First off, I have to tell him that I looked at his fucking phone, and that's bad enough. I look to the right, heart pounding.
Otter. What is it?
His voice is
You know, I
soft.
have a name.
Yeah, I do have a name. What the hell? Why do you always call me Otter? Is there another Otter?
Because I'm a dog and I love otters.
Oh.
Especially the D.
I saw all the otter porn you had under your bed, Leo.
Carl, what are you talking about? I didn't know you saw it too.
Everyone has seen it, Leo.
We've all seen it, Leo.
Disgusting.
Is this an intervention for Leo right now?
Yes.
TJ?
Yes.
I didn't know you even knew what porn was.
I'm not that innocent.
God, now I wish that there was like a little sprite of TJ dressed up as Britney Spears for that.
I'm not that innocent. You need to make that right
Oh
now.
god. I can try and find someone be like, hey, get this character from this game, make them Britney Spears, please.
Amazing.
It's so beautiful.
Also, I just realized something. This is the first time we had the original 6 people who were for this game together in a call. For like since we started, basically.
Oh,
Yay!
yeah.
I hadn't thought about that, but yay!
And apparently this is your favorite, like, emotionally your favorite part of the playthrough, so that kind of fits.
Well, no, my favorite part's later in this route, but this is where like it gets good finally, in my opinion. Like I got all the way through Carl's route and was like, okay, this game's alright. I got to Leo's route, and this scene here made me go, oh shit, maybe there's a lot more to this game than I thought.
Alright.
His voice is soft, but I can hear the slight tremble in it. Leo, I looked at your phone.
What?
I jump as Leo's hackles raise, and he bares his teeth. It's not an angry reaction, more defensive, fearful. Leo.
Why the fuck would you do that?
I shrink back, looking down as I listen to his breathing pick up. I'm sorry, but you know what I saw.
Fuck. Fuck, man.
Leo puts his face in his hands, which gives me an opportunity to look up. His ears are down, drooping towards the table.
Good. Feel ashamed.
Why did you do that? I wait while Leo continues to hide his face, his body rocking.
Not now.
Not now what?
You can't do this to me now. Not after...
Oh.
I didn't do anything. You're the one texting people that I don't give a fuck about them.
I'm gonna murder Leo.
Ooh.
His head snaps up then, and I can see his eyes glistening.
I didn't say that. Just said you were busy.
And what you said to TJ. Leo winces at that one, and he slumps back into his booth, his face dejected, desperate.
Please, Chase. Just try to understand.
What? I let some anger into my voice, wanting to show Leo that I'm not going to forgive him just because he's sad. And I think he realizes that, because his face changes, lips bared out of anger this time.
Yeah, I'm real fucking guilty, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Says the asshole that just ditches me, avoids me, won't talk to me.
I don't say anything in response.
And you wonder why I'm fucked up about this. You're the one who just walked out and left me.
I was young.
Yeah, you keep saying that like you're not young now. If you had actually dumped me, then maybe I wouldn't be this fucking messed up about it.
The last sentence escalates into a scream, and I flatten back into the booth, glaring up at him. Leo never hurt me before, and I'm not afraid he will now. I've endured plenty of his tantrums. Do you know how crazy this makes you look?
Oh, great. You too.
I'm serious. This is fucking unacceptable. I'm drawing the line here. Leo's snarling face turns up, and that's when I hear movement behind me. I turn in my seat and see Janice striding out from behind the counter, the kitchen door swinging shut behind her.
Janice?
Leo's fur flattens back down like he's forgotten all about our argument. It makes sense why. Something's wrong. Janice had been acting strange all week, gradually looking more haggard and pissed off as time went on. Of course, I hadn't forgotten what had happened on the side of the road a few days back. But I'd been content with just assuming it had been some kind of drug-fueled adventure of hers. Now I'm convinced she's having a mental breakdown. Her fur is mussed up on every inch of her body. Her eyes are wide and wild, similar to how I'd seen Clint earlier. Blood is smeared across her apron, and the handle of the knife sticks out of the front pocket.
Janice, are you okay?
Leo's half standing. I'm not sure if it's because he's afraid of her or for her. She doesn't say anything, and as she sidles up next to our booth, I slide a bit towards the inside. Under her wild gaze, I'm feeling a little trapped.
Janice?
Why all the shouting? Little impatient? Well, let me take your order and I'll get you settled.
Are you okay? Are you cooking?
Leo gazes at her apron.
Yes. Yes, I'm cooking today. What can I make you?
I get the unnerving feeling that she isn't even looking at us. Leo glances back at me, to which I respond with a bewildered look of my own.
You know, I think we might...
Nonsense. I've got everything fired up in the kitchen.
Leo doesn't respond, just stares at the big coyote. Janice smiles crookedly.
Well, if you're not gonna order something, then I'll just make your favorite.
With that, she turns and starts waddling off, having not even acknowledged me. What the fuck? I reach into my pocket, thinking about calling an ambulance for the poor woman, until I remember my dead phone. I whisper over to Leo. Should we leave?
Maybe.
But Leo doesn't move, just stares after Janice. I look out the window to the sun-baked road. Have you noticed that something's off?
About Janice? No shit.
Not just her, the whole town. I think about mentioning the meadow with Clint and Brian, but I'm still trying to absorb that myself. Leo sits back, still looking back at the kitchen door where Janice disappeared.
Honestly, people act so crazy here, I don't know if it's because of the drugs, or because they're actually crazy.
I see his nose twitch.
And I don't think she knows how to cook. Something smells funny in there.
I look back out the window, wondering if I should bring up our argument again. That scene with Janice had totally thrown me off, and I'm reluctant to waste more energy on yelling. It has to be brought up again somehow. We can't just let this sit. It's clear that's exactly what Leo wants, though, so I huff and stare out the window. This fucking town. I haven't been paying much attention to it in the past few days, being too infatuated with Leo. Sure, I'd seen some weird things, but it seems in my absence, everyone's gone to the fucky wacky shack. I look at Leo. Have you been noticing any of this weird shit going on? Leo sighs.
Again, I never know what's weird or not here. I guess I've noticed a few things.
I frown. Were you just hoping I wouldn't notice? Leo doesn't say anything. Instead, he just goes on staring at the kitchen. Would he really just let me blindly move to this town when he knew everyone was going crazy?
Yeah, for the honor deed, yes.
Looking out the window, I notice a figure moving up the street, jogging. A feline. TJ? Is that Teach?
No.
Leo glances out the window.
Looks like it. Out for a jog, of course.
The wolf turns his attention back to the counter as Janice comes out, a messy, dribbling milkshake in her hand.
Hey, Janice? What are you cooking back there?
I glance at the crazy coyote as she wobbles over to us, staring at the milkshake with wide eyes.
Oh, you know, meat.
Leo lets out a hollow laugh.
What kind of meat?
I'll be honest with you. It's a bit tough and stringy.
I lose interest in their conversation and instead look back out at TJ. I feel like something's off for sure. He's a ways away, but he looks kind of afraid. One of his hands reaches out to bat at something. Something's wrong. I mutter it under my breath and start to stand, set on getting out of here to see what's going on with them. By that moment, a truck pulls into the parking lot right in front of our window. I find myself staring right at Duke. I also see something big in the back of his pickup, a brown furred head peeking over the roof. Duke. Leo snaps his head over to look over at the window. As the weasel gets out of his truck, I see something in his hand. A gun.
Shit.
Language, Leo.
He's bringing a gun.
Wait, why am I bringing a gun?
No, not TJ, that was Duke.
Oh, thank God.
Make sure you pay attention. This scene's gonna get real intense real quick.
Hold on, I gotta pause my video then. Okay, I'm paying attention.
It's like, wait, why do I have a gun?
Well, it's Duke.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
know, that's why you
imagining
told me.
TJ I'm just imagining TJ running around with a gun.
Batting things that are not there with his hand with one hand, holding a gun with the other.
No,
TJ just goes,
in one
pow,
hand. I have a cat in
pow,
one
like
hand,
some
and the gun in the other.
like some old gunslinger.
Leo reaches across the table for me.
Not while I'm here.
Janice?
But she's already striding over to the doors just as Duke pushes through them.
Chase, Chase, get down!
But Duke spots us immediately.
I told you not to fucking run away from me.
He starts towards our table, but Janice, on her way towards the kitchen, intercepts him.
Duke, is that a gun? I am not gonna have you barging in here to ruin the peace.
She sticks her bulky body in the way.
Get the fuck out of my way.
Language.
It's as if Janice doesn't notice that there's a fucking gun being waved right in front of her face. I reach out and grab Leo's arm, trying to pull him down. Call the police! My phone's dead! Leo slowly sits, then looks around. The only exit is at the front. We're trapped.
You don't think those fuckers are behind all this? You've been seeing that otter around too, haven't you?
I'm not concerned with that anymore. I've made things right.
You're not fucking concerned that what happened to our grandparents is fucking happened to us?
I won't ask you to leave again.
Her voice is threatening. From this angle, I can't see her hands, but I can see she's reaching for something. Oh my god.
Chase, get down.
Leo's voice is bizarrely calm, but as he reaches over to me, I can feel him shake. He presses down on my shoulder, and as I'm about to slide under the table, I see Janice move forward, then I cover my head and cower against the booth and under the table. Leo shouts and yanks me up against his side, covering me with his arms. I hear him breathe heavily into my ear, and I stare wide-eyed from under the booth, only able to see the dirty beige wall opposite us. Leo's breathing is all I can hear. Otherwise, it's silent. Then I hear Duke muttering something under his breath, followed by soft padding footsteps. A few seconds later, his leg comes into view, and his feet turn in to face us. I see the gun dangling from one hand before he raises it slightly, pointing it at us. I close my eyes. How did this happen? Just seconds ago, Leo and I were arguing, and now I'm about to fucking die. I keep my eyes tightly closed, hugging to Leo as hard as I can, and wait. But nothing happens. I keep my face pressed into Leo's chest, though, wondering if I'm already dead. Finally, Duke speaks.
Leo, out. Otter, you stay there.
I feel Leo hesitate against me, then his lips press against my ear.
We'll be okay, baby. Just stay here.
Slowly, he untangles my arms from around him. Then, with his hands up, he pushes out from under the table and stands up.
Face the wall.
Leo hesitates, and Duke growls.
I ain't gonna fucking kill you. We're just figuring out what's happening is all. Killing you doesn't fix anything. The last guy got killed, and that didn't fix shit.
You shot Janice.
Cause she got in my fucking way. But it don't matter. Everything's fucked up now.
Leo turns to face the wall slowly. I watch from the space between the table and the booth.
What do you want?
To fix this fucking town. You're starting something with this otter. This has all happened before.
Duke looks out the window and makes a come on motion with his hand.
We're gonna stop it from happening this time.
Leo looks to the left.
But you fucking killed Janice.
You hear the wolf's voice break slightly.
Won't matter in the long run.
The doors rattle as someone comes in.
You got the zip ties? Hands behind your back, Leo.
Leo looks at whoever just came in.
Come on.
Now!
Slowly, Leo does as he's told, and I see a pair of massive paws reach forward to bind the wolf's wrists. I swallow hard as I watch Brian pull the zip tie tight. Duke puts a forearm to his nose.
Fuck, you stink. I hope you didn't kill that ringtail. We could use him.
Brian just grins in response, his teeth yellow. My heart sinks as I think about Clint. Had he been warning me to run? Why had I thought that him hanging from the tree like that was probably just a normal thing for him to bear? Was he a victim of whatever crazy had hit the town? That must have been what was going on. All this is hitting at once. It can't be a coincidence. Clint was probably just as scared as I am now.
Grab the otter and tie him up too. Just stick him in your trailer for now.
My stomach drops. Duke gestures again with his gun.
Come on.
My legs are lead. I can't move. Leo looks over his shoulders at me, and the fear in his eyes scares me even more. His muzzle moves, mouthing something. Run. But still, I can't move. I've never been so scared in my life. It's like everything is numb. Brian doesn't care, though, and moves forward, the look on his face eager. The gun goes off again. Everyone, including Brian, jumps, and I hit the floor with my hands over my head.
Fuck!
I look up and see Duke, eyes extra wild, dancing around, pointing the gun upwards at the ceiling.
Fuck, you see that? She's crawling around up there. I told you she's on my ceiling every fucking night watching me.
Brian looks up too, and for the first time, his face is twisted into an expression that isn't stupidly grinning. It's full of fear. But when I look up, I see nothing.
Hey.
Leo hisses at me, and that jolts me back into reality. Without even willing myself to do, I shoot out from under the table. In front of me are two exits, the front doors and the kitchen door, which is closer. There has to be an exit in the kitchen, but I'm not sure of that. My legs are already making me run though, and I had to choose now.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy.
Probably.
Does
I
this...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, does this make a difference in story?
It won't make a branch in the route or anything, but it does give us some more information depending on which way we go.
Gotcha.
Both sides will give us more info.
Okay, so we're not...
I feel like I would run for the front doors, to be honest.
As what I as a knee-jerk reaction.
yeah,
Because, like, the kitchen, you don't know. You've never been in that kitchen.
Yeah, you don't
but
know.
you could find weapons.
Does Cheese strike you as the kind of guy that goes, oh yeah, look, a knife. I'll use that.
Well, and
Well,
they've also got a gun!
Look, he's already crazy, you just need to have a sneak attack. My knee-jerk reaction is the front door.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
front door.
So it sounds like everyone's voting for the front door, so I'm going to go ahead and actually quickly save, because I want to show you guys what happens if you go through the kitchen, because this explains a lot more of what's going on with Janice.
Gotcha.
I'm going to save there.
Wait. I'm gonna kill you, cat!
Okay.
I did not expect to lose Janice that quickly.
No, that wasn't... I'm Janice.
Yeah, she just got
that's-
shot.
Yes.
Hi! Whoa! I mean,
For some reason I thought
can't
you
be on the
said
counter. You can't
Oh, yeah.
be.
Because
By the way, Seb, what are your thoughts about everything? You've been quiet so far.
Oh yeah. I'm just taking it all in.
I mean, fair.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, all right. I have no idea how long Duke will be distracted, so I dive behind the counter from my closest exit.
Don't look back, Chase. Go as fast as you can.
Shit! He's getting away, Brian.
I push past the swinging door and immediately slip.
Oh.
One moment I'm standing, and the next I'm laying on the ground, face stinging from the smack into the tile. I stare blearily at the ground, forcing myself to move again, but it's still so slippery. At first, I just think that the tiles are red, but when the overpowering metallic scent hits my nose, I realize it's more than that. Blood is everywhere, and now I'm covered in it. I sob, wondering what nightmare I'm in is when the nightmare I'm in is going to end, when the paralysis will hit me.
Fuck! Fuck! Get her off me!
I force myself to move because I need to get the fuck out of here, dream or not. I slip and slide along the tile, trying to stand, almost failing. I manage to grab the metal counter and yank myself up. And then I'm standing over the counter, and over what's on top of it. A pile of meat. I can see the fur, but it's a mound of unrecognizable parts. Butchered. Something cooks on the stove. My stomach churns and I heave, but there's nothing in me to come up. A bang behind me forces me to turn to my right. I see the mountainous form of Brian charge through the door. He slips immediately, but his momentum still takes him forward, and he reaches out for me. Next thing I know, I feel like I've been hit by a car and I'm flying back. I'm stopped short of hitting the ground thanks to the wall behind me, and my head explodes. Alright, so yes. I hope you guys remember the fun thing about Chase and Carl's route. This little otter is clumsy as hell and can't survive worth shit.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep,
God.
I remember that.
Of course not.
So let's see what happens if we choose to run through the front door. But yeah.
Also,
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
you're also to be real, I'm not surprised that Chase did slip in the kitchen because kitchen floors are known to be
Yes.
very slippery regardless,
They are.
which is why you're supposed to wear slip-resistant shoes.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. And not to mention all the blood too. So that probably
Yeah.
did not help
That
things.
definitely did not help.
So I'll let you know as well that the fun thing is we actually, in another route, meet who is that butchered pile of meat on the stove.
Is it the cook?
No, the cook is not in this day. It's the other waiter at this at the
Oh
restaurant.
no!
So Janice
jeez.
just slaughtered the other waiter?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Cannibalism.
Why?
So you'll learn more about the hysteria as this route progresses. While Carl's route was like doing its own thing, this is what was going on in the town. This is pretty consistent across the other routes. Is what happens in this route.
Okay.
And this is honestly so much more interesting, in my opinion, than what went down in the manor.
Well, with the manor, it felt like it was dragging on a little while. So
It's
it
also-
had.
It's also so cut off and closed off from everything else that's going on.
Yeah, that's true too.
It feels like it's an
True.
entirely different like set of events compared to what's actually going on in the rest of the town.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if that kitchen has an exit, and there's no way I can risk it.
Don't look back, Chase. Go as fast as you can.
Run, Chase, run!
I was just
Run,
about to make that
Chase,
joke.
run!
Run, Chase, run. So then he started running, and I just kept running till I couldn't run no more.
Slip.
Which was like 5 steps, because I'm an otter with no motor control.
And then I somehow broke my ankle, and then I can't
wants a
walk
free
for
cat?
quite a while.
Free cat. Gave away a free cat.
You know, Sam, every time you say that, there's gonna eventually be somebody on the internet that like, will try and contact you and go, "Give me your cat."
No. It's a joke, people. I'm not actually getting rid of him. He's just...
hmm
As I charge down the aisle, I almost trip over the large form of Janice. She's laying on her stomach, hands outstretched. smear of red leads to the knife a few feet away from her. I don't have time to dwell on it as I leap over her body, then charge to the doors. The bright sun heat contrasts heavily with the cool deadness of the diner, but I don't have time to wait for my eyes to adjust. I take off down the road, and a few seconds later I hear the door smash as something larger and heavy comes right after me. I don't look back. I gasp and wheeze as I run up the road and turn onto Leo's street. No one's around, and aside from the dull thumping some distance behind me, it's completely silent. Something terrible has happened. And not just in the diner, the entire town. I'm not sure why I decided to run for Leo's house, but my mind is numb and reasoning is gone. Briefly, I think about Kudzu, but I run past his yard. I don't see any sign of him, and I don't have time to try his door. I slam into Leo's door, pushing it open as I do. I slam it back and lock it with a deadbolt, then take off down the hall for Leo's room. I hear the doorknob turning back and forth as something heavy slams into it. I don't even know if Leo has a landline, and I look left and right wildly, not spotting a single thing that might be a telephone. I reach Leo's room and shut the door, wishing it had a lock. I jump to the outlet with my wall charger. I clumsily take my phone out of my pocket. It takes 3 tries to successfully jam the damn thing into my phone. Bouncing with terror, I watch as the screen lights up, giving me the battery charging symbol. Not enough power for it to power on. Something shatters down the hall, and I almost piss myself. It's followed by silence. I don't even dare to breathe. And then the house seems to shake as the bear ambles about, looking for me. I get down on my knees and try to squeeze up under the desk. I look at my phone again, but it's still at 0%. I'm out of time. The door swings open with a crash, and the bear spots me instantly. He rushes at me, and I let out an involuntary scream. I dive out from under the desk as soon as he's on top of me and try to roll away. He's big, but slow as hell, and I manage to get to my feet. It's at that moment I remember Leo's gun. But as my eyes flick in that direction, he lunges at me and swings a huge fist at my face. I jerk back, but he still clips my chin, sending me back into a spin, and my world into blackness. I stare at the floor, mind wandering in circles. There's heavy breathing above me, and as I get to my hands and knees, something impacts my side so hard it sends me rolling into the wall. I stare at the ceiling, lungs broken as I writhe around for air. The bear obscures my vision, then reaches down to grab me by my shirt and yank me up. He stares at me, and I stare back before he swings me into the wall again, and my vision goes dim. He does it again, then again.
Oh, I don't like that ringing.
On the 5th swing, the dimming finally turns to black.
Oh,
Game
I hate that.
over.
I hate that ringing when I get it normally. I don't like it when it's in a game.
I thought it was just me.
Nope.
No,
it's in the
it's-
game.
Okay.
It's different when it's in your own head.
Is it still there?
No, it's
Nope.
not.
No.
It's good. You're good.
Because I still hear it.
Oh no.
It triggered his.
Oh no.
The darkness that surrounds me is painful. I feel like I'm floating in a black sea. Nothing about it is comforting or peaceful. It's like a fitful doze when you've had a really bad fever. It feels awful and murky and sick. I feel my head tilt back, and a lightning bolt arcs across my head. I try to open my eyes, but they only manage to flutter, and I see flashes of red above me. Something is hooked under my back, and I'm dangling from it. I imagine a rope tied around me, holding me above the dark abyss below. Is this hell? I grit my teeth as searing red becomes too much to look at, and close my eyes again. This must be a nightmare, one that feels too real. I've had them before, and I know how to deal with them. Just need to go back to sleep, to drift off, and then I'll wake up back in my bed. Go back to sleep and wake up back in my dorm. Wait, in Echo? I try to think, try to prod back into my memories. Where was I last? What was the last thing I remember doing? Trying to remember is monumental. More than I can handle, unfortunately. I drift back into unconsciousness. I'm pulled back into the sickly dark as something jolts my body. I grimace and gasp. I'm filled with such a feeling of unprovoked loneliness and despair that I can actually feel my eyes watering, and a sob escapes my mouth. I hear a soft chuckle above me, and I go quiet. I still don't know where I am, and what's going on at all, but that laugh is enough to tell me that I don't want to be where I am. The feeling of hanging from a rope is gone now. Instead, I'm lying on something flat and hard, and my arms and legs are spread out. The air is cool now, and my skin is cold and wet, like I've been sweating a lot. The feeling is especially strong along my back, and I want to roll over, but I can't. Something is holding my arms down, and there's a rattling sound when I try to move. I moan and try to open my eyes again, though it's almost like they're glued shut. With a little more effort, I manage to crack it one open. At first, all I see is a blur of colors above me, and I had to blink a few times to clear it. Slowly, the image comes together, and I'm able to make out that someone is there above me.
Oh, that's not terrifying.
I feel my blood run cold, realizing that someone has been watching me this whole time. But I'm lying down. How is someone on the ceiling? I try to speak, but only a dry, crackling squeak comes out of my throat. At this point, my vision is cleared enough to make out an otter. An otter? I squint. A blue shirt, beige pants. I gasp and reflexively try to draw back from the thing. I'll point out right here now, this thing doesn't have a goatee. It can't be Chase. Chase has a goatee, remember?
Yeah, stupid fucking goatee.
I told you the stupid fucking goatee would be plot relevant.
Not really.
Is it me? It smiles. It's missing my goatee. Ow! The flat surface I'm lying on tilts precariously, and my stomach lurches. Oh, Harry will be joining us soon.
So,
Hey.
I try to clutch at the surface, though there's nothing to grab onto. I shut my eyes and gag as I feel my stomach swirling around inside me. All I can do is pray for it to stop, feeling like everything around me is about to fall over. The ache in my head is magnified tenfold, and tears start to leak from my eyes. Just when I think I'm about to slip off the face of the earth, the ground starts to tilt back the other way. I swallow and gasp for air, my entire body shaking and sweating all over again. I feel like I've been swimming too long and my body is exhausted. What the hell is going on? I remember that someone was staring down at me from the ceiling, and I opened my eyes again, fearful. I cringe as I see that same otter staring down at me. The otter that's clearly wearing the same clothes as I am.
This time
But
it
now-
has goatee.
It's not smiling. A tear-stained expression is on its face. It's a mirror. A mirror on the ceiling? I try to sit up but come up short, gagging as something tightens around my neck. I try to move my hands to whatever it is, and that doesn't work either. That same rattling sound I heard earlier makes me look towards my right hand, and what I see makes my blood freeze. Around my wrist is what looks like a leather strap. I desperately look to my other hand and find the same result. Looking at my feet, I see the same contraptions fixed to my ankles. When I try to lift one of my feet, I see metal glinting from underneath, making me think that the leather is bolted onto the platform. Panic rises up in my chest and I kick my feet, try to flail my hands, but the straps hold firm into what looks like wooden planks, which is the platform that I'm lying on. They're arranged in a way to leave me spread eagle. Over the leather, I can smell all kinds of musk, though the strongest one reminds me of Clint. I try to lift my head, but the thing around my throat is too tight and instantly makes me choke again. My head throbs. Tears start to form in my eyes again as I try to think back. Where the fuck am I? Is this a prank of some kind? Maybe my friends at the dorm trying to scare me? Had I been drinking at a party? No, wait. I'm in Echo. That's the last place I remember being. I'm here for a project, and I'd been with my old friends. I was with Leo, and I'd been at the diner. Suddenly, all the horrible things that had happened that day come rushing back. Janice, Clint, Brian, the gun. Oh my god. Had that really happened? I struggle a bit more and try to think. I had run to Leo's house. Leo, I don't know what happened to him. I left him with Duke. And then Brian, he'd been chasing me and tried to break in. I start to breathe heavily again as I realize where I might be. Brian got into the house when I was in Leo's room. He attacked me. I look around. I'm in a small room, what looks like a living room of some kind. There's a couch to my right and a wall with a clock on it to the left ticking away. There's a window too, and along with the ticking, the wind blowing outside is the only other sound I can hear. Looking down towards my legs, I can see what looks like a tiny kitchen with some cupboards and a countertop. Dishes and junk are piled high along the length of the counter, and it smells like cigarette smoke. Judging by the layout and size of the place, it looks like I'm in a trailer home. A small moan of terror escapes my lips. I'm in Brian's house. I remember Cud telling me that he lived in one. Tears start leaking out my eyes again, even though the crying is making my head throb all over again. All I can think about is what he was doing to Clint. No, I have to calm down. I don't want to attract any attention if he's actually nearby. After what happened in the diner, the cops have to be on their way, if they aren't already here. People eat in the diner all the time. One of my friends probably, would find it and call someone. I just have to wait until they find me. I swallow again, feeling my body break out into a cold sweat all over again. What is going on? They want something from us. I remember that at least. But what? Duke had been saying something about seeing things and that we might be responsible. I squeeze my eyes shut and shake my head, but then immediately stop when my head throbs from the movement. None of this makes any sense at all. Am I still dreaming? At that moment, I hear soft mumbling in the distance through the thin walls of the trailer. I freeze and hold my breath. It's a little ways off, but I'm almost positive that's Duke's. The high, weaselly whine mixed with the occasional smoker's cough is unmistakable. It's coming closer, and I can start to make out what he's saying.
Because we're already fucked here, you think we can just let him go and it'll all be fine?
I don't know who he's talking to, but the sound of an accompanying heavy, lumbering step gives me an idea.
It's worth it though, if we can figure out what the fuck is going on.
It sounds like they're right up against the trailer now. I can hear them walking around it, towards a small door to the right side of the kitchen.
Leo ain't saying shit. Yet. But I think it might be the otter. He's the one I seen last week.
The footsteps stop in front of the door, and I listen hard. My heart's pounding in my chest.
I hope you haven't done anything to him.
I didn't.
Brian's uncharacteristically high-pitched voice sends a chill up my spine, my fur flaring out with it.
You bet your ass you haven't. If you do any of your fucked up shit to him.
I stop breathing, staring at my terrified expression in the mirror.
What I'm saying is, we still got a chance to get out of this. What we've done is bad enough. But if we can get him to understand...
They stop talking, and that's when I hear Brian's heavy, labored breathing. I'm not breathing at all, worried that they'll be able to hear it even though they already know I'm here. I let out a gasp as the door suddenly swings open, and Duke comes up the steps, looking around before spotting me.
Brian, you are one sick fuck.
I tense up as the massive shadow appears behind him, and it feels like the entire trailer tips a bit as Brian makes his way up the same steps. Brian's presence is so imposing and frightening that I didn't even notice that Duke is now right next to me. I jump when he sets his hand on my left arm. I jerk my head to look at him, wide-eyed.
Hey, calm down. We ain't gonna hurt ya.
Brian chuckles and Duke shoots him a look. He turns his attention back to me, softening his expression, at least as much as he can, with his scraggly, drug-fucked face.
We just need to get some information from ya.
I open my mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a dry squeak. Brian chuckles again and makes his way to stand to my right. I cringe away from him, and his stench of old sweat as he grins down at me with his yellow teeth.
Brian, get some fucking water.
Brian looks at Duke with a strange face before turning back to the kitchen.
Hey, don't worry about him. I know his thing.
Duke taps one of the boards with a finger.
Looks bad. But we just gotta hold you here for a bit.
He likes it.
Duke glares at him as Brian comes back from the kitchen with a ceramic mug.
Being gay does not make you like that. It's...
Yeah, nope.
Okay, just so you know, Brian is the worst character in this game, so don't you worry about that.
You're too.
Ugh.
Brian visibly bristles and his face loses any of the sick humor it once had. Duke clears his throat.
Things have been happening here, and we want to find out why.
What? Duke furrows his brows, like a kid trying to figure out something difficult.
You see, people ain't right in the head here.
No shit.
I was just about to say that. I was like, no shit, Sherlock.
Duke seems to immediately read my thought process because he holds up his hands and shakes his head.
Yeah, I know. What we're doing ain't exactly right in the head either.
Brian gives his dumb chuckle again. But I keep my face averted from him, partly because I really can't stand the smell.
But we're all a little fucked up here. What I'm talking about is something else. Like what you saw with Janice.
I shift a little as I'm reminded of what happened in the diner. Is she dead? Duke looks genuinely sad.
I don't know. And it's a damn shame. But you saw the way she came at me? That's the shit I'm talking about.
I look at the weasel's waistband and immediately see the handgun tucked into his pants there.
And I was hoping to stop it before any of this happened. But now...
Everything's gone to shit.
Brian finishes for him, and I can feel him move closer to the platform I'm laying on. Again, I avoid eye contact, not wanting to provoke him in any way.
Yep. It's only gonna get worse.
Duke just looks at me, like that's all the information that I need. I don't know what you're talking about. I see a twitch of irritation in Duke's face, and I hold my breath. I mean, what's happening out there? Duke shakes his head.
What's happening everywhere? It wasn't just Janice that lost her mind.
Duke looks back at the window suddenly, his fur standing on end. I look too, but all I see are the leaves and branches, the late afternoon sun filtering through them. Duke's quiet for a while before he starts speaking again without turning around.
It happened to my granddaddy, my daddy. Now it's happening to me.
So if I remember correctly, Cliff from the smoke room would be Duke's granddad.
Oh.
So that gives some hints about something's gonna go weird like this in the smoke room eventually.
Hmm.
Well, shocker.
I know, yeah. Echo is, we play games that are set in Echo because they're always gonna have happy endings, right?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
rainbows and sunshine.
In my head, yes. In my head, they have happy endings.
Mm.
I'm shiny hunting. Sorry, I have to say it once.
I close my eyes, wondering if Duke is just as crazy as Janice was. If he does, I doubt he has a clue what he's doing right now.
Dale's missing. Cynthia drove off into the desert.
Duke turns around to look back at me.
We saw your cat friend running down the street on the way here, saying someone is after him.
Marble attacking me!
TJ?
Thing is, we've all got something after us. Something bad. Won't let you leave when it starts.
What's after you?
I flinch as Brian speaks just above me, leaning down towards my face. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Bullshit.
I flinch again, as Duke's concerned demeanor immediately drops away.
Why do you think we came to get Leo and you?
He pauses, like I should actually know the answer. I feel myself start to panic again with these two crazy hillbillies looming over my body. I don't know what... Duke slaps me and I gasp in shock.
I saw you hanging around this fucking town before you got here. Late at night, lurking around.
I'm still cringing from the slap, and I keep my eyes closed, as if not seeing any of this is gonna make it stop.
And then once all your friends get here, all hell breaks loose. You think that's a fucking coincidence?
It's quiet for a moment, and all I can hear is the rush of blood in my ears. Is this really happening? I feel Duke touch my arm again, and I flinch in fear.
Hey,
I feel like he wants me to look at him, so I slowly open my eyes, tears spilling out as I do. The blurry shape of Duke dances in front of me.
I'm not saying you did, or that you wanted it to happen.
I don't say anything because I still don't know what he's talking about, but I know I can't tell him that.
It's just that you gotta know something. Anything. So that we can stop this.
Duke starts to pet my arm and I shiver. Brian is breathing heavily next to me, and a glance at him shows that his expression is more interested now. Almost eager. Duke still hasn't answered my question. It makes no sense why they'd go so far as to kidnap us. But why? Why didn't you just ask us? Why all this?
That's my question. Why didn't you just say, hey, I need to ask you a question?
I lift my hands weakly, making the platform rattle. You were gonna say something?
Well, just asking questions would be too simple.
Well, and I mean,
Well, and Duke is not. They don't necessarily like talk to Duke very much, I guess.
Hmm. The other thing is, I'll point out something about Duke right now. He already just said that this is cyclical in a way that happened to his dad and it happened to his granddad, and now it's happening to him. So, like, the way that I've always viewed Duke personally after having gone through the game is he's essentially a cultist now. Like, he is assuming like that he knows the best way forward and that anyone who disagrees with him be damned.
Uh-huh.
That would make sense.
Kids, don't join a cult.
Even if it's a weird, like, kind of pseudo-death cult about trying to get out of a death situation.
Just don't. Just, if you hear the word cult, just walk the other direction. Just go. Run.
Well, I mean, no cult ever calls themselves a cult.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah. No.
Okay, if you hear something sketchy, just walk
Wait,
the
no,
other way.
never mind. There's one cult, the Happy Sunshine cult.
Wait, what?
Happy Sunshine Cult.
that Crypt TV series,
Yeah,
right?
that one. At least I've never watched it. I assume they actually call themselves that.
I don't know what they actually call themselves, because I've never watched it. I've only seen kill count of it,
Oh yeah.
which is different.
I lift my hands weakly, making the platform rattle. Duke's face darkens.
Because I've been asking Leo all week what the fuck you guys are doing, and he wouldn't say shit.
Duke stops petting my arm and scratches behind his head.
And, my, something told me that you would know.
I stare at him. Who?
Someone I know. And it makes sense. Something bad happens, and if you don't fix it, it won't stop coming after you.
I shut my eyes and almost sob.
Says they know when I thought it had to be Leo, or you considering what we've been seeing these past few weeks.
Duke pauses.
Or maybe one of your other friends.
Hey there, who just joined?
It was
Uh,
Harry.
It was a Harry.
Welcome, Harry.
Look, see, I could call him by his actual name instead of Seb.
What?
What?
I called him Harry instead of Seb, like I normally do.
Oh, I forgot that you did that.
Oh, okay.
I do that on accident.
Everyone said to Sam.
Yeah, hey,
Matt's
Shut up, Seb.
Seb. I'm Seb. DJ Seb.
We're
Huh?
all Seb.
What? Wait, hold on. Let's call my name.
Well, Hannah's Seb as well.
What? No, I'm
everyone
Seb.
said to me.
No, I'm Seb.
I'm Seb.
Would the
I'm
real
Seb.
Seb please stand up?
Hold on. There we go.
He actually stood up. I'm just sitting down. I'm like, I ain't getting up.
Yeah, because I'm the real Seb. That's what I thought.
Oh, damn it. I didn't mean to use any
Alright,
dates.
so the real Seb will now be executed. This was a Spartacus
Fair.
situation and you all failed.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And he sits back down.
Whenever you're ready, Duke.
Or maybe one of your other friends.
My mind briefly flashes to TJ. I don't know what you're talking about. I wait for another slap, but it doesn't come. I open my eyes again, and Duke is looking back out the window.
We're kinda protecting you too.
I stare at the back of his head.
Things are getting worse out there, and if we don't figure something out soon, we're all gonna die.
Duke's voice is dead and distant. Brian, though, touches my other arm, and I gasp, shrinking away. He's smirking down at me, looking at my stomach. Or squeak, somewhere around there.
Brian, stop!
Duke turned back around, looking over me at the bear.
We're not getting anywhere right now, and I gotta get back to the wolf.
Even though Duke is the one who hit me, I'm terrified at the thought of being left alone with Brian. And somebody just disappeared.
It was Harry.
Uh,
That
Yeah, his
nerd.
computer's shitting itself.
Ah.
Don't just assume.
Duke sees my face.
Don't worry, Chase. Even though you're lying to us, I don't plan to let this pervert have his way with you.
Brian snorts.
Brian knows what will happen if he does.
Duke gives Brian a cold, callous stare, and this time Brian doesn't give his stupid grin back.
But you better hope your fuck buddy says something soon. Because if not, we might have to get mean.
Duke heads for the door, turning to look over his shoulder.
Just feed him and make sure he doesn't escape. That's it.
And with that, Duke briskly disappears out the door, a golden flash of afternoon light lighting up the dim trailer. Brian and I listen to the weasel's soft, anxious footsteps recede into the distance. As soon as the sound is gone, Brian stands up. I turn my head in time to see him whirl around and smash his fist into the wall. I jump as much as I can in my restraints before he does it again, this time slamming both of his fists against the wall.
Freaking
He screams so loudly, my ears immediately start ringing. I think he's talking to me, so I brace myself for what I'm sure is going to be the worst moment of my life. But he stalks right past me, not even looking at me. Instead, he strides up to the kitchen counter. Once there, he picks up a dirty pan, then raises it over his head before bringing it down with a crash. I hear the glass shatter before he does it again and again.
piece of shit!
He throws the pan across the room to crash into the wall.
I'll kill him. Kill that fucking...
I stare at him, my eyes wide as I watch him stamp his feet like a little kid. Then he slaps himself across the face twice. After that, he closes his hand into a fist and punches himself in the head repeatedly. It's with a force that would knock me out cold. It'd be funny if I wasn't tied down to a contraption in a trailer belonging to Brian. Wow, Chase, that's fucked up that you find that funny.
So I was shiny hunting for Starly. I found God again.
You found another shiny Bidoof?
I did.
Alright, hold up.
So
I'm
good.
gonna-
Nice.
Hold up, no, are you sharing right now what your screen is?
No, it's on my Switch.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna suggest I can switch over so that way we can see it, but alright. Congratulations, Sam, you were meant to be the shiny Bidoof trainer.
I don't want to! I
Be,
want Starly!
it must be what you must be.
Okay, continue.
I mean, heck, I've actually caught 2 different shiny Mightynas at one point or another. Actually, Poochyenas
Nice.
first, then they evolved.
Ooh! Brown dog.
Gold Dog, actually.
Really? It looks more brown to me.
No, it's gold.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying what it looks like to me.
Hmm.
Mm.
You better name that Bidoof Brian.
His name is God.
I need to name it God. I haven't named the first one God either. No, I think I named that one God.
Then name this one Brian.
Okay.
That way when people go, oh, you mean like Life of Brian? You can be like, no, like Echo.
No, like
Why
Or
would that
a terrifying Brian.
Brian stumbles after what seems like the 5th blow and covers his face. His massive shoulders shake with sobs.
Thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Thinks he can boss me around.
Brian whirls around and slams both his fists into the counter several more times, the sound of shifting glass accompanying it.
I'll kill him. Kill him! Kill him!
His voice crescendos in pitch and volume before he finally slumps against the counter, head in his hands as he starts crying again. I breathe as quietly as I can, not wanting to draw any attention to myself.
Well, Get him! I'll fucking get him! Won't control me no more.
Suddenly, his quaking shoulders freeze. Slowly, he turns, and with a sinking heart, I realize he's looking right at me. The fur on his cheeks, already matted before, are now flat and shiny with wet. Snot runs from his nose down to his upper lip. Then I see lip red dripping from his left wrist. The fur on the right is matted with blood as well. He watches me for a while, then grins.
Am I funny to you?
I open my mouth, but nothing comes out. He suddenly strides right up to the end of my platform, standing between my spread legs. I feel numb, the fear taking up every fiber of my being. I feel nothing else.
You like seeing him make fun of me?
I try to speak again, but still nothing comes out. I swallow. No. My lips tremble, and my voice shakes. I never stuttered so hard in my life.
You know what I'd do to you if I could.
Brian sneers down at me, the wet fur on his cheeks bristling out.
Oh, I swear to God, I'd fucking tear your off right fucking now.
He rests a huge hand down on my squeak and pushes down. I cringe and whine. Please. Brian's grin only gets bigger, and he rubs his squeak with his other hand as he watches me wince.
Oh, good. You already know how to beg.
He leans forward towards my face, moving his hand to clamp over my mouth.
And then I'd hang you for hours.
I stare at him, breathing hard through my nose, tears leaking down the sides of my face. His hand slides down from my mouth to my neck, and then he starts to squeeze.
Then I'd give you a little stool to stand on when you start to go out. Then I'd kick it away again.
I gasp and gag, both from the squeezing and from his reeking breath. He stares hard at me, and I can feel his squeak grinding up against mine. He squeak. Then he blinks and slowly pulls back. He watches me gasp and sob for a while before reaching down again. I try to turn my head away, letting out a moan of terror. But he doesn't grab my neck again. Instead, he prods and teases the fur, checking the skin on my neck.
Better not bruise. If that fucking saw that.
His expression darkens again.
If you fucking tell Duke about this.
He raises a fist and I cringe. No, I won't, I swear. I turn my head away, eyeing his raised fist. He holds it for a while, watching me. He seems to be calculating something, like he's wondering if he can get away with what he's about to do. Then he seems to make up his mind.
Good.
With that, he slams his fist right down to the center of
Oh,
my
not
torso,
again.
just below the ribs. My vision flashes, and I hear a rasping, droning wheeze that I realize is coming from my mouth. It's over. It goes on and on until there's no air left in me, and then I can't breathe in again. My vision goes black as I suffocate, writhing against the restraints, wanting to curl up into a little ball and disappear. It feels like hours, days before I finally get a sip of air. My mouth gapes as I try to suck it in faster. Brian is standing over me, and I'm somehow surprised that he's got a worried look on his face. He probably thinks he's killed me. But then my stomach starts to turn and lurch. Before I even realize that I'm about to puke, a gush of vomit fills my mouth and I start to choke.
Shit.
Brian hurries to my side, and I give him a second heave mixed with a gag as he tips the platform over sideways. His huge paw pushes my face to the side and looks at the ground, and I watch as it all spills onto the ugly shag carpet. When I finish, Brian slowly tilts the table back up, looking at me with disgust. At this point, I'm too tired to cry. Instead, I lay there in a daze, occasionally hacking or coughing. Brian goes to the kitchen, rustling around a while before returning with water and paper towels. He wipes my face and nose before tilting my head up to drink the water.
Rinse and spit.
He holds the mug there until I do, as he says. Then he gets down to his knees. I watch his head bob up and down as he busies himself with the mess on the floor, muttering about Duke finding out. I'm too numb to really care right now, though. Right now, I'm starting to realize I might not survive this. Brian calms down pretty quick after his tantrum. Once he cleans up the mess, he splays out on the couch and starts watching TV. It's some kind of cartoon about a pink cat, and he actually laughs along with the juvenile jokes. While this goes on, I lean quietly against my platform, trying not to start crying again. Alright, I think we should call it here, and maybe do another episode tonight if you guys are still up for it.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm down.
Alright, say
Okey-doke.
goodbye, everyone.
Bye.